If you're a screenwriter or aspiring to be one, you might be looking at the state of the industry right now and wondering, is screenwriting even going to be a thing in the future? It has always been a challenge to want to pursue this craft. Your family and friends don't know what to make of it. If you're not connected to the film industry, people think this is a big impossible dream. You yourself might have reached out and written a lot of stuff, but can't get any notice from competitions, can't get any agents or managers to look at your work, and producers and production companies just close you off immediately. And then you read all the headlines about how the industry is in crisis and fewer productions are getting made and the studios are pulling back and the streamers are not doing any big deals anymore. And then AI has come along, and are people just going to use AI instead of screenwriters? And should I use AI, or does that diffuse my human voice? And well, if you haven't been to my channel before, you might not know that I take a completely contrarian approach to all this. I believe we are in the most extraordinary, exciting moment in the history of this craft. And so in this video, what I want to do is cover 3 things you must do right now to prepare yourself for the future of screenwriting as it's going to be in the years moving forward. And this video is going to be kind of an overview of these 3 topics. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to do a live Zoom event where I'm going to dive deeper into this. It's completely free. And then once we dive into it, I'm going to open it up for discussion so we can cover all of these things in much more granular detail. But let's dive into the overview of the 3 things you must do right now to prepare for the future that is inevitably coming toward us. The first thing you absolutely must do is understand the paradigm shift that is currently underway. The truth is, the film industry is not collapsing. Creativity and storytelling are not going away. What's happening is it's decentralizing. The tools and the ability and the power to create film and stories has always been limited to a series of gatekeepers because the cost of making film was always so big and so expensive. But because those costs are dropping dramatically, more people in more places will be able to make more projects. That's not just accessibility. That changes the fundamental dynamics and economics and structure of how the industry will work moving forward. And that will mean that the kinds of stories that are told, the kinds of needs that producers and filmmakers will have from screenwriters will change. Look, whether you use AI or not, and to be clear, I'm all about human storytelling. I don't want you to use AI to tell the stories. I want to use AI to help us tell better human stories. But whether you even touch AI is changing the landscape in a pretty profound and fundamental way. Because these tools put the ability to create content into the hands of pretty much anybody, it's going to flood the market with not just AI-generated content, but content of all kinds, stories of all types. And so that will intrinsically change the economic value of an independent film or even of a studio film. What this fundamentally does is strips the power from the gatekeepers, because you don't need to wait around for someone else to approve your project. If you have a story and your neighbor next to you is able to turn that story into a film, maybe they're a filmmaker or a producer, and the neighbor next to that has $30 or $50 or $100,000 sitting around, maybe from some crypto investment or something. The 3 of you could get together and make an independent film if you are capable of marketing that project. If you're capable of bringing that project to the world, you no longer need anyone else's permission to make a film. So if as a screenwriter, you continue to focus on the traditional way of breaking into the industry, or the traditional way of getting a job or getting employed or building a career as a screenwriter, by writing screenplays, trying to get approval from competitions, trying to get agents and managers to say yes to you, trying to get production companies to read all your spec scripts. We're thinking about it. We're going about it in an old way, in a way that is getting slowly pushed out in favor of a new paradigm. Ultimately, this isn't about scarcity, it's about redistribution. And if you don't see the shift and prepare yourself for the new era, you're going to miss all this opportunity. Now, obviously, I'm only scratching the surface of this. If you want to join us for the deep dive, make sure to click that link in the description to register for the Zoom event. But if we see that the game is changing, the question then becomes, what kind of writer do we need to be for what that game will become? And that's what leads us to point number 2, which is all about skating to where the puck is going. What we need to become is an indispensable human writer, someone who can create at the speed of AI, so that AI is not our competitor, but in fact prepares us for this incredible explosion of opportunity that's ahead. The reality is, right now, anyone can go to ChatGPT or any of these large language models and type in a prompt and have it spit out a whole bunch of story ideas, a whole bunch of stories. You can get it to map out and create an entire screenplay for you in a matter of minutes or hours or days, depending on how good you are as a prompt engineer. But the reality is this: storytelling isn't just about a narrative that hits all the effective marks. The reason human beings tell stories is because each one of us is experiencing a unique life, a unique journey through this world. And because of that, we see and experience and witness and interpret and have insights about our world that are fundamentally unique. You will see the world in a way no one else ever will, and that gives you an imagination that is one of a kind. When you turn that into a unique story, that is a story the AI could never have created. And because it comes from your lived experience, it will resonate with a human audience in a way that a pattern recognized, distilled, artificial story never really will. Now, to be clear, I believe we're going to love watching AI created stories. I believe this whole idea of stories on demand. I have these interests and these likes and dislikes, and so AI will generate stories for me on the fly to entertain me. I think we will like that stuff, but that does not exclude the power and point and purpose of human storytelling. The reason we tell stories is to share our insights, and other humans' insights about our world helps human beings understand and relate to our world in more empowered ways. So what I see happening is an explosion of AI-generated content, artificial content that will just overwhelm us and will make us want to see and experience that unique human perspective. The challenge is this: if as a filmmaker or an investor, you want to make a project that connects with an audience, and you go type something into an AI and have it spit out a story for you in a matter of days or weeks, if the human writer can't compete with that time scale to create quality that quickly, well, then we're going to lean on the AI instead, simply because we can't take advantage of the unfolding opportunities quickly enough. But if you can make yourself an indispensable human writer who can create quality at a speed that is competitive with AI, there would be no reason why independent producers wouldn't want to choose the human writer over the AI writer for the advantages that the human brings to the business. So the real future of screenwriting is uniquely human, but bringing your humanity to the craft at a speed and with a skill level that makes AI's competitive advantage irrelevant. Your edge in the marketplace is not just being human. It's being fast and quality and human. That's where the future really lies for us. But the truth is, knowing this is not enough. The question becomes what you're going to do with this information. And that leads us to the third thing you have to do right now to prepare yourself for the future of screenwriting. It's no longer enough just to take action. Now you have to take the right kind of action. And here's the shortcut. It's relatively simple, but not necessarily easy. What we need to do is rewire your brain for intuitive mastery and set up your life to support the consistent action that makes this possible. Look, most writers are prone to procrastination. We know we need to write more, but today we need to not only write more, we need to develop a very unique skill set that prepares us for this future. Because it's not just about creating spec projects anymore. It's about creating uniquely human projects that are aligned with the needs of the producers who are going to take advantage of these new opportunities. It's not just about being more disciplined. It's about designing a life that supports your development of your craft. Like last year, I was developing a project to help writers replace the revenue from their day jobs so they could spend more time building this creative career. However you do it, you need to carve out time to actually rewire your brain, because it's the daily, consistent, ongoing, improvement-focused action that's going to rewire your brain in such a way as to make creativity intuitive, to make your ability to work with producers or production companies or spontaneous, all new opportunities that pop up in the space of a week. The ability to take advantage of this stuff has to come from your intuitive mastery of the craft. And that kind of intuitive mastery isn't something that you learn in a book. It's not something that I can teach you. Here's how to be an intuitive master. It's something you have to take action on every single day. It's something you have to consistently make second nature in your life. So you need to focus on a process-driven approach to creativity. It's not just about what to put where on which page of your screenplay. It's actually about how do you go from the idea to the story and to the screenplay and to that aligned, connected project as quickly as possible, as intuitively as possible, so that every time an idea pops into your head, you instantly know how to turn it into a story that exceeds the imagination of your working partner. So that instantly your partner comes to you and says, hey, I see this cool opportunity. And you immediately say, we can take this idea and turn it like that. And they say, yes, let's do it. And rather than go to the AI, they go to you. Ultimately, the future of screenwriting looks very different to the history of screenwriters. And so if you continue to develop or focus your attention on developing a set of skills for the outdated model, then all of the new direction this is taking will pass you by, and you won't be ready for those opportunities when they come. So if any of this resonates with you, if you like what we're talking about here, please click the link in the description below and join us for the live Zoom event. I'm going to dive deeper into these topics, really flesh these out and expand these in a way that you get an actual tangible roadmap that you can use moving forward to ultimately carve out your unique creative career for yourself. And then probably the most exciting thing for me is that when I'm finished with the deep dive training, I'm going to open it up to Q&A so that we can have a conversation and a discussion, and you can ask questions and we can explore some of these ideas further and look at possible nuances that I haven't covered or maybe haven't even thought about in this situation. And then really together we can prepare for what the future will bring to us. I fundamentally believe we are in an extraordinary and transformative moment. I do not think we need to be scared of AI or of these changes. In fact, I think we should embrace them. I think everyone should embrace them, because there will be much more production, much more filmmaking, more great stories, more unique stories, more stories that are outside the box, that can connect with worldwide global audiences in a much deeper and more profound way moving forward. It is a truly exciting and extraordinary creative time. And click the link below and join me so that we can have a further discussion and take these ideas further with it. So I hope this has been helpful and inspiring to you, whether you decide to join me in the Zoom event or not. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and whatever you do, follow your passion. Claim your space. You have a window on the world no one else will ever see unless you share it with them. So share it with them. Thanks for watching. See you there.